Hey guys, it's Ty the Dog Guy here with Ty the Dog Guy on the Daily, my new daily podcast where I'm just going to take a few minutes every day and talk about dog training principles and things that you can use daily with your dog on making your life and your dog's life better. So what I wanted to talk about today on my inaugural podcast is what I call structured motion and structured stillness. Now this is something that's been on my mind quite a bit recently. Because we've been working with a lot of anxious dogs. And so this is something that I've been doing for a long time, structured motion and structured stillness, without ever really labeling it. But we've had a number of shadow folks come. So we've got a lot of folks that are coming to us to learn, professional dog trainers learning our style. And so as I'm explaining how I do things, I've recognized I need new words to explain. Because sometimes I'm just simply doing things and not realizing that I need to explain it. So anyways, structured motion and structured stillness, what I'm referring to here is how to help dogs that have anxiety issues, how to help dogs that are working through fear issues, how to help dogs that are struggling with insecurity and things like that. Because here's what I notice. The average owner takes a dog on a walk, takes a dog to the pet store, takes a dog to the dog park. By the way, don't ever go to a dog park. Those places are bad for your dog. But, the average dog owner is taking their dog to all these places, but they're not giving them a whole lot of information. And so what I mean by that is the dog maybe is nervous about this, anxious about that, struggling with this, struggling with that. And at the same time, the dog's pulling on the leash. The owner comes to a stop, and the dog's sniffing over here and pulling and, over there. And the dog's lunging at this distraction or running away from that distraction or whatever. And so one thing that I've found over the years is that the dog's mind tends to follow the dog's body, right? And so if the body's all over the place, it's going here, it's going there, that's kind of a parallel for what the mind is doing. The mind's not paying attention, the mind's not focused, the mind's just kind of all over the place, the way that the body is. And so what I've found is that there's a direct conduit to that little brain of our dogs, probably a bigger brain than what we have, but there's a little conduit, and that's through the body. And so if we can structure their body, we can often find structure in their mind as well. So what I mean by that with structured motion and structured stillness is when we're walking, it's not enough to be walking, let's have some structure behind it. Let's have the dog healing, let's have the dog paying attention, let's have the dog checking in with us, focusing on us, things like that. When we come to a stop, let's not just let our dog sit and wander around. Let's give our dog something to do, otherwise he's going to sit there twiddling his fingers, getting nervous, and now he's going to go down that nervous path that we don't want him to go down. And so I'm talking about a sit or a down or or something like that. And this extends everywhere, not just taking your dog places that the dog's nervous about, but on a daily basis, we recommend to our clients that there's structured motion and structured stillness, that the dog is getting that structured walk, and then at home, the dog is getting 30, 45 minutes, an hour of a place command. If you've got a dog with nervousness and anxiety, you'll be shocked at how well your dog does in getting that 30 minutes to an hour of a place command. I call it, doggy yoga and doggy meditation, because the dog can finally learn to kind of self-regulate and calm down and relax. And so that structured motion and structured stillness at home and also being out are huge. Now, in order to be able to do that, you've got to have some great obedience, which is why so much of what we work on, so much of what we talk about is getting that great level of obedience. Because if we have that, we can create structured motion, structured stillness. So to sum up my inaugural little podcast here, let's make sure that on a daily basis you're looking for ways that you can integrate structured motion and structured stillness, and that when you find your dog with a struggle, when you find your dog with fear, find your dog with anxiety, that you're creating structured motion and structured stillness. So best of luck. Thanks for listening to me, Ty the Dog Guy, with his new podcast, and we'll talk to you soon.